Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment a small stone dropped into a calm lake. The ripples spread outward, touching the farthest corners. That is the power of small choices. Every day, each decision we make sends ripples through our life. Some seem insignificant at the moment. A 5-minute delay, a choice to read one page, a single act of kindness. But over time, those choices compound, shaping the person we become and the life we lead. Extraordinary achievements are rarely the result of one giant leap. They are the outcome of many small, consistent actions repeated day after day. The person who writes a single paragraph each day eventually finishes a book. The individual who saves a little money each week eventually builds financial security. The one who chooses to exercise for 15 minutes each morning eventually transforms their body and energy. It all begins with awareness. Every decision, no matter how trivial it seems, has a consequence. Will you choose to spend an extra hour scrolling through distractions? Or will you invest that hour in learning, growing, or improving your skills? Will you speak words that inspire and uplift, or words that tear down? Every choice matters. The secret lies in discipline and consistency. You do not need extraordinary talent to achieve greatness. You need ordinary actions applied with extraordinary persistence. It is not about doing something huge all at once. It is about showing up every day, making small choices that align with your goals. Let me share a story. A man decided to read just 10 pages of a book every day. 10 pages. Not 10 chapters, not the whole book. Just 10 pages. Years later, he had read hundreds of books. His knowledge multiplied, his mindset evolved, and opportunities he never imagined opened up because of a seemingly small, daily habit. That is the power of daily choices. And there is another side to this patience. Progress is invisible in the moment. You plant seeds today, water them tomorrow, but the fruit may not appear for months, maybe even years. Yet, those who persist, those who trust the process, reap a harvest that others only dream of. So, what choices will you make today? Will you let life happen, or will you shape it with intention? Every action, every thought, every habit matters. Extraordinary achievements are not born from luck or talent alone. They are born from small, purposeful decisions made consistently over time. Remember, greatness is not a sudden event. It is the sum of hundreds, thousands of small, wise choices. Start small, start now, and let each day bring you closer to the life you desire. One choice at a time, you can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary achievements. Every day we make countless choices, most of them seemingly insignificant. Some we barely notice: the cup of coffee we drink in the morning, the route we take to work, or the few minutes we spend on social media. At the time, they seem trivial, almost meaningless. Yet, these small choices accumulate, and their effects ripple through our lives in ways we often cannot immediately see. A single choice can set a trajectory, steering us closer to our goals or farther away from them. Life is not merely the sum of dramatic events, but the product of countless small decisions repeated over time. Consider a person deciding to spend 10 minutes each morning reading an insightful book rather than scrolling through a news feed. 10 minutes might feel negligible, almost laughable, but repeated every day, it transforms knowledge, mindset, and perspective. Over weeks, months, and years, those 10-minute increments compound into a vast reservoir of learning, opening doors that were once invisible. The choices that seem small in the moment often hold the greatest power because they are consistent. They shape habits, and habits shape character, and character shapes destiny. The truth is that small choices have a way of snowballing. A single decision to save a modest portion of your income may not feel life-changing, but compound interest turns it into financial stability or even wealth. Choosing to exercise for 15 minutes instead of skipping it may seem trivial today, yet the strength, energy, and resilience gained over months and years are monumental. The key lies not in the magnitude of the action, but in its regularity. Consistency turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. Awareness plays a critical role in the power of small choices. Most people drift through life, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously deciding how to respond. A moment of awareness transforms a trivial decision into a deliberate choice. When you notice the options before you, when you pause to ask yourself what aligns with your long-term goals, small decisions become meaningful. Choosing to speak with kindness rather than criticism, choosing to learn rather than complain, choosing to act rather than procrastinate, these small, conscious decisions create a trajectory of growth, trust, and opportunity. It is also essential to recognize that small choices often have a cumulative effect on our mental and emotional well-being. Choosing optimism over negativity, patience over frustration, and gratitude over resentment may seem minor at the moment, but they shape the lens through which we view the world. Over time, these choices build resilience, self-confidence, and a positive mindset. They affect relationships, career decisions, and personal fulfillment. Small acts of discipline and wisdom create an invisible architecture that supports the life we want to build. Even seemingly unimportant choices have moral and ethical consequences. The decision to be honest when no one is watching, to honor commitments, or to help someone in need may feel inconsequential in a single moment, but they define reputation, trustworthiness, and character. People may underestimate the power of these small actions, yet they are the very foundation of meaningful relationships and lasting success. One small choice to act with integrity can prevent years of regret and open doors to opportunities that luck alone could never provide. Small choices also teach the principle of control and responsibility. When we realize that life is the sum of these tiny decisions, we stop blaming circumstances or others for our outcomes. Each decision becomes an opportunity to take ownership, to steer life intentionally rather than passively. The empowerment gained from recognizing the influence of small choices creates confidence, initiative, and a proactive mindset. The challenge, of course, lies in the human tendency to underestimate the importance of these small decisions. We often wait for big opportunities or life-changing moments, but in reality, the foundation of extraordinary achievement is laid in the quiet, seemingly insignificant choices of everyday life. Understanding this shifts our perspective. It turns ordinary routines into strategic actions and mundane moments into critical opportunities for growth. Small choices are the seeds of greatness. They are the hidden architects of character, success, and fulfillment. Each moment presents a new choice, a new chance to align action with purpose. The life you desire is not built overnight, but through the careful cultivation of these small, deliberate, and consistent decisions. Every decision matters. Every choice counts. Every day, you have the power to plant seeds that will grow into extraordinary achievements. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in life. Yet it is also one of the most underestimated. People often wait for perfect conditions, a surge of inspiration, or a sudden breakthrough to take action. They believe that success comes in dramatic bursts, as if life will reward them for a single heroic effort. But the truth is far simpler and far more profound. Greatness is built on the foundation of small, repeated actions, day after day, without fail. Consistency is not glamorous, it is not flashy, but it is what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who merely dream about them. Consider the process of learning a new skill. A single hour of effort may feel insignificant. You may stumble, make mistakes, or feel that your progress is negligible. But when that hour is repeated every day for weeks, months, and years, the results are staggering. Musicians, athletes, writers, and entrepreneurs all follow the same principle. They show up daily, not for the applause, not for instant success, but because they understand that cumulative effort produces mastery. Consistency transforms average effort into excellence over time. Consistency also builds momentum. When you commit to small, regular actions, each step reinforces the next. The first action may be the hardest, but with each repetition, your habits become automatic, your skills sharpen, and your confidence grows. Momentum is a subtle, yet unstoppable force. Once it begins, it propels you forward even when motivation wanes. Motivation is fleeting, but consistency is reliable. Motivation may spark the journey, but consistency keeps you on the path until you reach your destination. Another dimension of consistency is its power to build trust and credibility. Whether in personal relationships, business, or any endeavor, people notice reliability. Showing up consistently sends a message you are dependable, disciplined, and committed. This builds respect and opens doors. Clients, colleagues, and friends naturally gravitate toward those who deliver steadily over time. One dramatic gesture of brilliance may impress for a moment, but consistent performance earns lasting trust and opportunity. Consistency is also a shield against failure. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Those who rely on bursts of effort or sporadic enthusiasm are more vulnerable to giving up when challenges arise. But those who have built a pattern of consistency have a safety net. Their habits, their routines, their daily discipline carry them through difficult times. Even in the face of adversity, consistent action ensures progress, even if it is slow. Steady progress is always preferable to inconsistent effort because it compounds, strengthens, and endures. Consider the story of a person who decides to exercise for 15 minutes each morning. At first, the results may be invisible. The effort may feel too small to matter. But as days turn into weeks, weeks into months, the changes become evident. Energy increases, health improves, confidence rises. The transformation is not sudden, it is gradual, built on the backbone of daily consistency. The same principle applies to learning, saving money, networking, or personal development. Every small effort matters, but only when it is repeated consistently. Consistency also nurtures resilience and discipline. It teaches the mind to persevere, even when progress is not immediately visible. It cultivates patience, self-control, and a long-term perspective. When you practice consistency, you learn that the path to success is not a sprint, but a marathon. Each day becomes an opportunity to strengthen habits, sharpen skills, and reinforce values. Over time, consistent action turns ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Finally, consistency empowers you to take control of your life. Every small, regular choice adds up to a trajectory that you direct consciously. It transforms dreams into plans and plans into reality. The secret of consistent people is that they do not wait for ideal circumstances. They create them through reliable, disciplined action. They understand that the seeds of extraordinary achievement are planted in the soil of daily routine and nurtured through the steady application of effort. Consistency is the silent engine of success. It is invisible in the moment, yet undeniable in the outcome. It is unglamorous, but indispensable. By committing to small, repeated actions, you harness a force that magnifies effort, builds momentum, strengthens character, and produces extraordinary results over time. Those who understand and practice consistency achieve what others can only dream of because they have mastered the art of showing up day after day without fail until their goals are no longer distant aspirations but living realities. Awareness and intention are two of the most overlooked yet powerful forces in shaping the life we live. Most people drift through their days on autopilot, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously steering their own course. They wake up, go through routines, face challenges, and make decisions without ever pausing to ask, am I choosing this consciously, or am I letting life choose for me? The truth is that every action we take, every thought we entertain, and every word we speak carries weight. Awareness allows us to recognize these moments, and intention gives us the power to direct them purposefully toward the life we desire. Awareness begins with observation. It is the ability to step back and notice your habits, your thoughts, and your patterns. It is not just about seeing the surface of your actions, but understanding the underlying reasons behind them. Why do you react with anger in certain situations? Why do you procrastinate on tasks that matter most? Why do you spend time on some things while neglecting others? Awareness is the first step toward mastery because you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. When you become aware of your choices, even the small, subtle ones, you gain insight into the forces shaping your life. But awareness alone is not enough. Without intention, it is like having a map, but refusing to set a destination. Intention is the conscious decision to align your actions with your goals and values. It is the deliberate choice to act with purpose rather than drifting aimlessly. When you pair awareness with intention, every decision, no matter how small, becomes meaningful. You begin to understand that your life is not the result of random events, but the outcome of countless conscious choices made with direction and purpose. Consider a simple example. Two people set out to exercise. One goes through the motions without thinking, hoping it will magically bring results. The other approaches the same routine with awareness and intention, focusing on form, progress, and consistency. Over time, the results are drastically different. Awareness allows you to notice what works and what doesn't, while intention ensures that your actions align with your ultimate goal. This principle applies to every area of life, from career and finances to relationships and personal growth. Awareness and intention also empower you to recognize and manage distractions. Life is full of temptations that pull you away from what truly matters. Social media, unnecessary commitments, and mindless habits can steal time, energy, and focus. Awareness helps you see these distractions for what they are, while intention gives you the discipline to choose differently. By being deliberate in where you invest your time and energy, you create a life that reflects your priorities instead of the whims of external influences. Another critical aspect of awareness and intention is self-reflection. Taking time to evaluate your choices, your successes, and your failures strengthens both. Reflection allows you to learn from mistakes, celebrate progress, and adjust your course as needed. Intention guides this reflection toward actionable insights, turning lessons into deliberate improvements. Over time, this cycle of awareness, reflection, and intentional action compounds into profound personal growth. Awareness also deepens emotional intelligence. By observing your reactions and understanding the reasons behind them, you gain control over your emotions rather than being controlled by them. Intention allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Relationships improve, conflicts diminish, and communication becomes more effective when actions are guided by conscious awareness and deliberate choice. Finally, awareness and intention create a sense of empowerment. Life no longer feels like something that happens to you. It becomes something you actively shape. Every thought, every word, and every action becomes an opportunity to move closer to your goals. Awareness helps you recognize the options before you, and intention gives you the courage and clarity to choose the path that aligns with your deepest values and ambitions. In essence, awareness and intention transform ordinary life into an extraordinary journey. They shift you from passive participation to active creation, from reacting to responding, and from wandering aimlessly to moving with purpose. By cultivating these qualities, you not only enhance your decisions and habits, but also unlock the power to live a life that is fully yours, rich with meaning, achievement, and fulfillment. Talent is often celebrated, admired, and envied. People naturally assume that those who achieve greatness must possess extraordinary gifts, innate abilities, or a special kind of genius. Yet time and again, life demonstrates that talent alone is rarely enough to create lasting success. Many talented individuals falter, never reaching their potential, while others with modest abilities achieve remarkable results. The differentiating factor is discipline, the ability to show up, to commit, and to act consistently toward a goal, regardless of circumstances or motivation. Discipline over talent is the true path to extraordinary achievement. Talent may open doors, but discipline ensures you walk through them every day. A naturally gifted musician who refuses to practice will plateau quickly, while a less gifted individual who dedicates themselves to consistent daily practice will surpass them over time. Discipline transforms raw potential into measurable results. It is the force that bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Talent without discipline is like a car with a powerful engine but no driver at the wheel. It has potential, but it goes nowhere. Discipline is a choice. It is the ability to delay gratification, resist distraction, and maintain focus on long-term objectives. While talent may give you an initial advantage, it is discipline that sustains growth. Talent can make tasks easier, but it cannot replace the steady accumulation of effort, the patient repetition of practice, or the persistence to keep going when results seem invisible. It is disciplined action, over time, that compounds into mastery, achievement, and success. Consider the example of an athlete. Many are born with speed, strength, or agility, yet those who achieve greatness are not always the most naturally gifted. They are the ones who train relentlessly, who wake up before dawn to run laps, lift weights, and perfect technique, even when no one is watching. They embrace discipline over talent because they understand that consistent effort yields results far beyond what raw ability can achieve. Their dedication transforms potential into accomplishment, proving that discipline is the ultimate multiplier of talent. Discipline also teaches resilience. Life is unpredictable, full of obstacles, failures, and setbacks. Talent alone does not guarantee the ability to overcome these challenges. Discipline, however, builds endurance, patience, and determination. It allows individuals to persist when circumstances are difficult, to continue when motivation fades, and to focus on the process rather than seeking immediate results. Talent may inspire admiration, but discipline builds unshakable confidence and unwavering progress. Furthermore, discipline shapes character. By committing to regular action, by honoring commitments, and by choosing responsibility over ease, individuals cultivate traits that are far more valuable than talent alone: integrity, perseverance, self-control, and reliability. These qualities not only contribute to success, but also earn respect, trust, and influence, resources that talent alone cannot provide. Over time, discipline transforms the person as much as it transforms their achievements. It is important to recognize that discipline is not about rigidity or perfection. It is about consistency and alignment with purpose. It is choosing the action that serves your long-term goals, even when it is inconvenient, uncomfortable, or delayed. Discipline is the daily investment in yourself, your skills, and your vision. It is showing up when it is easier to quit, working steadily when results are slow, and trusting that small, repeated actions will lead to extraordinary outcomes. Discipline over talent also levels the playing field. Many people start with advantages, gifts, resources, or opportunities, but those who lack discipline often squander them. Conversely, those with modest means or limited natural ability can surpass their peers through consistent, focused effort. Talent may give a head start, but discipline determines who finishes the race. It is the great equalizer that ensures potential becomes achievement. In essence, discipline over talent is the principle that empowers ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things. It emphasizes action over ability, persistence over gifts, and consistent effort over fleeting inspiration. Talent may make life easier in some moments, but discipline ensures long-term success, mastery, and fulfillment. Those who embrace discipline understand that greatness is not a result of what you are born with, but of what you do consistently, with focus, intention, and unwavering commitment. Patience and long-term thinking are two of the most powerful, yet often overlooked, tools for achieving extraordinary success. In a world that glorifies instant results, quick wins, and overnight achievements, it is easy to forget that lasting accomplishment is rarely fast or easy. The truly remarkable outcomes, the financial security, the mastery of a craft, the meaningful relationships, and the personal growth are built over time, one step at a time. Patience allows us to endure the journey, while long-term thinking ensures that our actions today align with the life we wish to create tomorrow. Impatience is one of the greatest obstacles to success. It tempts us to quit when results are not immediately visible, to chase shortcuts, or to abandon a process before it bears fruit. Yet most significant achievements take time to develop. The person who invests in learning a skill for years eventually becomes a master. The individual who builds a business through careful planning and consistent effort over decades creates lasting value. The student who dedicates years to study, practice, and refinement gains knowledge and expertise that cannot be rushed. Patience is not passive, it is active endurance, the willingness to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow. Long-term thinking complements patience by providing direction and perspective. Without a clear vision of the future, it is easy to become frustrated by temporary setbacks or small delays. Long-term thinking allows us to see beyond the immediate moment and focus on the cumulative impact of our actions. It transforms daily routines into strategic steps toward meaningful goals. Every decision, every choice, and every effort is measured not by short-term gratification, but by how it contributes to our ultimate objectives. This perspective cultivates discipline, resilience, and clarity, helping us navigate challenges without losing sight of what truly matters. Consider the example of a farmer planting seeds. When seeds are sown, there is no immediate reward. The process requires careful attention, watering, and protection from adverse conditions. Growth is slow, invisible at first, and progress is measured in weeks, months, or even years. Yet the patient farmer, who understands the rhythm of nature and invests consistently over time, eventually harvests fruits and crops that are far greater than any momentary effort could yield. Human achievement works in the same way. Small, consistent efforts combined with patience and foresight produce extraordinary outcomes. Patience also allows us to learn from mistakes. Immediate success often masks weaknesses, while delayed results reveal areas for improvement. Those who think long-term are not discouraged by setbacks. They view challenges as lessons, opportunities to refine strategies, and experiences that build resilience. Impatience, on the other hand, leads to hasty decisions, errors, and frustration. By cultivating patience, we embrace a mindset that values growth and understanding over fleeting gains. Another powerful effect of patience and long-term thinking is the ability to resist temptation. Life constantly presents distractions, quick fixes, and shortcuts. The temptation to abandon a well-considered plan for immediate gratification is strong, but those who think long-term understand the cost. They recognize that temporary pleasure or convenience can derail years of effort. By prioritizing the long-term vision, they maintain focus, make wiser decisions, and avoid unnecessary setbacks. Patience and long-term thinking also foster gratitude and contentment. When we appreciate the incremental progress we make, we develop a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that sustains motivation. Each small victory, each learned lesson, and each milestone reached becomes part of a larger journey. This mindset transforms effort from a burdensome chore into a meaningful pursuit, where progress itself is celebrated and cherished. Ultimately, patience and long-term thinking empower us to create a life of depth, meaning, and lasting success. They remind us that greatness is rarely achieved overnight, and that enduring achievement comes from steady, thoughtful, and deliberate effort. By combining the wisdom to plan for the future with the discipline to endure the present, we cultivate the resilience, skill, and insight necessary to transform ambitions into reality. Those who master patience and long-term thinking understand that life is a marathon, not a sprint, and that the rewards of persistence, vision, and perseverance are immeasurable. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. They shape our days, our decisions, and ultimately the trajectory of our future. What makes them truly powerful is their compounding effect. Just as small financial investments grow exponentially over time through interest, small habits accumulate to create extraordinary outcomes in every aspect of life. The actions we repeat consistently, no matter how minor they seem at the moment, compound over weeks, months, and years, transforming ordinary individuals into people capable of extraordinary achievement. The key to understanding the compound effect of habits is recognizing that every action matters. A single choice may seem inconsequential. Waking up 15 minutes earlier, reading one page of a book, taking a brief walk. But when repeated daily, it becomes a catalyst for change. The small efforts we invest consistently accumulate, magnifying their impact in ways that are not immediately visible. This is why people often underestimate the power of habits. The results are delayed, but when they do appear, they are profound. Consider a person who decides to save a small portion of their income each week. At first, the amount seems negligible, and the progress is barely noticeable. Yet over time, these small contributions grow, benefiting from the compounding of interest and careful reinvestment. Years later, what started as a modest habit transforms into financial security or even wealth. The principle is the same with personal development, fitness, productivity, and relationships. Repeated, consistent actions yield exponential results. Habits are also powerful because they operate below the level of conscious effort. Once established, they become automatic, guiding our behavior without the need for constant decision-making. This automation allows us to conserve mental energy for more complex tasks, while the habits themselves continue to drive progress in the background. For example, the person who has a habit of reading daily gains knowledge and insight without having to remind themselves each day. The habits act as compounding machines, silently building results that accumulate and expand over time. Another important aspect of habits is their ripple effect. One positive habit often leads to others, creating a chain reaction of improvement. The individual who begins exercising regularly may naturally start eating healthier, sleeping better, and becoming more productive. Conversely, negative habits can compound in the opposite direction, eroding potential, energy, and motivation. Small acts of procrastination, neglect, or poor choices repeated over time create setbacks that are difficult to reverse. This illustrates the dual nature of habits. They can either be the engine of success or the anchor of failure, depending on which patterns we cultivate. The compound effect also requires patience and persistence. Because the results of habits are cumulative, they are not always immediately visible. Many people give up too soon, assuming that small actions cannot make a difference. Yet those who persist understand that the greatest changes are often invisible in the early stages. The small, disciplined steps taken consistently will eventually produce transformations far greater than any single dramatic effort could achieve. The key is to trust the process and remain committed to the daily actions that align with your goals. Habits also provide structure and stability in an unpredictable world. They offer a framework that keeps us moving forward, even when motivation fluctuates or circumstances become challenging. By embedding positive habits into our daily routine, we create a system that ensures progress regardless of temporary obstacles. This system becomes the backbone of success, allowing us to navigate life with confidence, focus, and resilience. Finally, the compound effect of habits empowers us to take ownership of our lives. It reminds us that greatness is not the result of luck or sudden inspiration, but the result of small, deliberate choices repeated consistently. Each action, no matter how minor it seems, is an investment in the future. By choosing positive habits and nurturing them over time, we harness the exponential power of compounding, turning ordinary routines into extraordinary achievements. Action is the bridge between ideas and results, between dreams and reality. Many people have visions, ambitions, and plans, yet only a fraction ever achieve their goals. The difference is simple: those who take action transform potential into accomplishment, while those who hesitate allow opportunity to pass by. Empowerment comes not from wishing, thinking, or planning alone, but from the deliberate choice to act. Every step taken toward a goal builds momentum, confidence, and clarity, and each action amplifies the capacity to achieve more. Action begins with decision. To act is to claim responsibility for your life, to acknowledge that your outcomes are the product of your choices rather than the whims of fate. Waiting for perfect conditions, ideal circumstances, or external validation only delays progress. Those who understand the power of action know that conditions are rarely perfect, and that growth comes through movement, not stagnation. Each step forward, no matter how small, generates energy, focus, and progress. Consider the individual who dreams of starting a business. They may study the market, make lists, and imagine success for years, yet without action, the vision remains a fantasy. One simple step, writing a business plan, making a phone call, or speaking to a potential client, creates a chain reaction. Action transforms ideas into experiments, failures into lessons, and challenges into opportunities. The first step may be intimidating, but it carries with it the power to turn uncertainty into direction, doubt into confidence, and planning into tangible results. Action also fuels learning. Knowledge alone is insufficient to create success. Many people accumulate information, attend seminars, and read books, yet fail to implement what they learn. Empowerment comes from applying knowledge through deliberate action. Each attempt, each effort, even each mistake, teaches lessons that no theory or instruction manual can provide. Progress, mastery, and skill are born from doing, not merely knowing. The more we act, the more we learn, and the better equipped we become to navigate future challenges. Momentum is another powerful consequence of action. A single act often leads to another, creating a chain of productive behaviors. Action generates energy, confidence, and clarity. The more consistently you act, the easier it becomes to maintain focus and continue moving forward. Conversely, hesitation and inaction create stagnation, doubt, and missed opportunities. Action is not only the path to results, it is the force that keeps you moving, even when the journey is long and the obstacles appear daunting. Action empowers because it cultivates self-reliance and confidence. Every decision to act reinforces the belief that you are capable of shaping your life. Waiting for permission, inspiration, or external circumstances diminishes confidence and leaves control in the hands of others. Taking action, even in small ways, sends a powerful message to yourself. You are capable, you are responsible, and you can create change. This sense of empowerment compounds over time, enabling you to tackle larger challenges, embrace greater risks, and pursue bolder ambitions. Action also has a ripple effect beyond personal gain. It inspires others, builds trust, and fosters collaboration. People notice those who take initiative, who turn ideas into reality, and who consistently demonstrate the courage to act. This influence can create opportunities, attract allies, and amplify impact. Empowerment through action is not just about individual success. It shapes the environment, relationships, and networks around you, creating a positive feedback loop of growth and achievement. Finally, action transforms dreams into reality by converting intention into results. Planning, visualization, and preparation are important, but they are incomplete without execution. Empowerment comes when ideas, plans, and desires are transformed into tangible steps that create measurable outcomes. Every act taken is an investment in the future, a declaration of ownership over your life, and a demonstration of the principle that we are not passive observers of circumstance, but active creators of destiny. In essence, empowerment through action is the principle that separates dreamers from achievers, thinkers from doers, and intention from accomplishment. It teaches that control, progress, and success are earned through deliberate effort, persistent movement, and the courage to act, even in the face of uncertainty. Action ignites momentum, builds confidence, strengthens skills, and ultimately turns aspirations into tangible, extraordinary achievements. By embracing the power of action, you claim the ability to shape your life, to influence your circumstances, and to transform your potential into reality.